Open a Bud Light and relax already. Even the vice president took a break from humping his ottoman to complain about not just me, you.
On Jimmy Kimmel's television program and on The Daily Show this week, you have audiences outright cheering.
Jimmy Kimmel kicks things off by reacting to JD Vance complaining about late-night comedians and audiences laughing at anti-Tesla jokes. Kimmel immediately turns the criticism into comedy, joking that even the vice president somehow found time to worry about television monologues instead of bigger national issues. What makes the moment funny is that Vance and other Trump allies often accuse comedians of influencing public opinion, as if a late-night joke is responsible for everything happening in the country. Kimmel argues that comedians aren't creating public frustration, they're simply reacting to events people are already talking about. The bigger story here is how sensitive members of the Trump administration seem to become whenever they're mocked publicly. Instead of ignoring comedians, they frequently respond directly, giving those jokes even more attention. Kimmel points out that when powerful politicians spend time attacking comedians, it usually means the jokes landed harder than expected. By the end of the segment, Kimmel frames the whole situation as a vice president getting into a public argument with a late-night host, which is exactly the kind of headline.
And today, Donald Trump signed an executive order to dismantle the Department of Education. I know it sounds like a joke, but it's not. Trump famously said he loves the poorly educated, and now we will have so many more people to love. Trump
that practically writes comedy material by itself. Kimmel then turns his attention toward Trump's executive order targeting the Department of Education. He jokes that Trump has always claimed to love poorly educated voters, and now he's making sure there will be even more of them in the future. The humor comes from the contradiction Kimmel sees between promising national success while simultaneously reducing the importance of education. He describes the White House event where children were invited to witness the signing, turning it into a comedy sketch where officials ask kids if they dislike school and then reward them with good news. But beneath the jokes is a larger criticism about policy priorities. Kimmel argues that education has always been one of the most important investments a country can make, and treating it like an obstacle rather than an asset creates serious concerns. He uses sarcasm to highlight what he sees as the absurdity of celebrating cuts to educational institutions. The audience laughs because the image of children cheering for less school sounds ridiculous. But Kimmel's underlying point is that policies affecting...
He covered a wide range of subjects, including his son Barron.
You talked the other day about how music was your aptitude as a child. But is Barron's aptitude, in your view, business or politics?
Maybe technology. He can look at a computer.
Education have long-term consequences that extend far beyond one political administration. The conversation then shifts to Trump discussing his son, Barron, and his supposed talent with technology. During an interview, Trump tells a story about trying to disable Barron's laptop, only to discover that his son quickly restored everything without help. Kimmel immediately finds comedy in the exchange because it sounds like a father being outsmarted by a teenager. Trump presents the story as proof of Barron's incredible technological abilities, while Kimmel treats it like a modern family moment every parent can relate to. The humor grows when Trump admits Barron essentially told him, "None of your business, Dad," after fixing the computer. Kimmel jokes that this might be the first documented case of someone successfully defeating Donald Trump using basic computer skills. More importantly, the story creates a rare glimpse of Trump discussing family life instead of politics, which makes the moment feel unexpectedly human. Kimmel plays with that contrast.
Vice President Maybelline was making the rounds, attempting to defend his boss and the chairman of the FCC with a new fairy tale even a 5-year-old wouldn't believe.
Showing how even someone who dominates global headlines can still be completely confused by technology compared to the younger generation sitting right inside his own home. Kimmel then returns to JD Vance, whom he jokingly calls Vice President Maybelline. The nickname immediately sets the tone for a segment focused on Vance defending both Donald Trump and FCC Chairman Brendan Carr. According to Kimmel, Vance was trying to explain controversies surrounding media regulation and television criticism using arguments that sounded impossible to believe. Kimmel compares the explanation to a bedtime story a child wouldn't even accept. The real target of the joke isn't necessarily the policy itself, but the way political figures often attempt to explain away contradictions that seem obvious to everyone watching. Kimmel argues that modern politicians spend more time managing narratives than addressing criticism directly. When Vance appears on television defending administration decisions, Kimmel sees someone trying to sell a version of events that becomes increasingly difficult to defend. The comedy comes from highlighting those inconsistencies and letting the audience connect the dots themselves. By the end, Kimmel suggests that